kindness of his heart, his performances at Noontime Show are always a blast, so he asked him to come back and share with us. So let's give Steve Cady a round of applause.
Which is the same instrument I have in my hands here. You notice ours are a little different size. That's reflective of our body sizes. Mine's what they call, believe it or not, a 3/4 size double bass. There's one that's even bigger than this. Very few people play it. And she's got a half-size double bass. And so Annie and I played music together a little bit. You'll notice that Annie played the bass using the bow. And the bow is nothing more than a fancy stick with horsehair on it that we play the strings as follows on. That song I was going to play. Oh, yeah. You guys want to sing along? Not yet. Playing with the bow that I played with my fingers on the right hand, and we have two different words for that with the bow. It's what we call arco, and we use the fingers, we call it pizzicato. There's lots of different styles you can play in the double bass pizzicato, one being that kind of country beat that I was playing last time, which goes something like this. And sometimes guys get fancier than that. They go, country music, stuff like that. I like to play the double bass playing jazz music. And so let's see if I can think of a song here that might be good at playing jazz music. Anybody know a song? What do you got there? Happy Birthday, absolutely. Play it swinging, play it rock and roll, anything like that. But the bass is really well known for doing what we call a walking bass line, which would normally involve me going like that while I play the bass. But it usually sounds something like this. That I actually get paid to play. But I do get paid to teach people to play music, which is such a wonderful thing. In fact, the only way I make money is through music. Either I play this bass, I play the electric bass, which I'm going to show you in a minute, or I teach people to play music. And part of teaching people to play music is knowing lots of different instruments. So, over the years, I learned to play lots of different instruments, including the double bass. Excuse me if I talk when I move some stuff. I might need that. And this was the first instrument that I learned to play, besides piano. Raise your hand if you play piano. Yeah. And if you haven't played piano, you should try, because you'll be surprised how easy it is and how fun it is to play piano. So I first played the piano. So I learned to read music a little bit playing piano. And then when I got to 4th grade, they asked us in a big room like this, what instruments you want to play? And I picked this one, which is, anybody? Trumpet. Good job. You guys have been doing your homework, right? So I learned to play the trumpet. And when I was in elementary school and high school and stuff, I played the trumpet and did stuff that sounded like this, you know. Oh man, that's lame, right? I didn't want to do that. So I kind of tired of playing trumpet in high school. Started playing electric bass, and then double bass. Then I realized I started to go back to trumpet when I was in college. I said, you know, this is a really cool instrument. I just never played it the way I wanted to. And so I started to learn to play jazz. On the trumpet, and I really enjoy it. Really super fun instrument. And so I played trumpet for a while and stuff. Then in college, you learn to play all kinds of instruments, especially if you want to teach people. You have to know how to play lots of different stuff. And so I kept playing different instruments, experimenting, things like that. And after a while, I realized that I was kind of interested in making instruments. And so one of the first instruments I made, which is a Cake classic. My friends here at Cake, who have been here for a while, might recognize this. You guys have all heard of the bongos, right? That's not enough for me, baby. I made a trongo. Right? So anyway, I started to realize, it's like, you know, it's cool to play instruments. I love playing instruments, I love teaching instruments, but I started making instruments. And then my dad is interested and very intelligent when it comes to electronics. So I started to learn a little bit about electronics. And I wonder if anybody's ever seen one of these. Yeah! Somebody know what that's called? Well, it says it's a speaking math, and all it is a little computer game that asks you to do math problems, which doesn't sound like very much fun, right?
Okay, math is fun.
So, with a little help from my dad, from some people I met, I learned how to make speaking maths a lot more interesting. Right? Let's try that again. Try that again. Whoops. This just says problems now. That's a mistake. Let's try it again. So what I did is I took this thing apart and I went inside of it and I figured out how to make it do stuff that it's not supposed to do. Like this. And these buttons here make it do other stuff and I'm not really sure what it's going to do. And these buttons over here make the notes change. Right? And this thing over here makes the note change too. Right? And these two little things, you can use your fingers to make the note change. Like that. And I change and all this stuff. And you just get the thing to go crazy. So that's my speaking math, and modified it to a little synthesizer. Oh yeah. So this little baby used to be nothing more than a little toy car that went something like this. Oops, not loud enough. Just made like motor noises and stuff, so that we get. Right? Yeah. So this is my Rock and Rider